Do you see him? Do you see him? I'm Jake Haynes, and I'm a double amputee. Hunting to me is life. It is so much fun for me. I love the challenge. When I was in the hospital, actually, my dad brought it to me. He said, hey, they have disability hunts, and we're gonna get you on one. And you know, when you're that close to losing your life, you start thinking about what you really want to go and do. And one of them was to go hunting in Colorado. And it was a passion of mine and a dream that came true for me.
Lots and lots of country. It's definitely not easy walking. We're gonna come over here and sit down and just kind of glass that hillside and see what we can look at and see if we can't spot something up. We got Billy over on the other side.
The first day that we were there, we actually saw a spike in a small 4-point with the eye guard, but he was still pretty small and he was far away, and there was a lot of private land and there were a lot of hunters. Every ridge that we went to, there was another hunter. It was crazy. It just seemed like there's no way there's animals in here because there's so many people. My brother-in-law brought his RV so that I'd have a place to be able to put my legs on. We'd have beds.
Too darn early.
And it was really pretty comfortable. My brother-in-law Billy, he helped me out all the time, just making sure that everything was really well taken care of. We worked hard. We worked really hard at it. Getting up before dark and being on the ridge before they come up through the mountains, you know. I'll be honest, by the third day I was getting pretty frustrated because we weren't seeing much.
I just don't think we're out far enough. It's hard. Because I want to go hiking and I want to go 2 miles back in there. For my first adventure, I don't trust myself quite enough to do that. But I think soon.
This one hillside is on the north face, and that's where they'll want to bed down because there's no pressure. There's nobody over there.
In order to get into that area, you had to hike around the private land. Wednesday, I finally just said, that's it. I'm going to hike it. Grabbed my walking sticks and my gun and my pack, and I started just trekking it through.
I'm just going to follow that around to that tree. Walk down that other side.
And I could side hill pretty good, but going up and down those hills with the brush and everything else, I fell down so many times. Just because my right leg, I couldn't feel that a brush had grabbed that leg. And I'd just go head over tea kettle like every time. We made it in probably about 2 miles. And another hunter comes up the other side. And I was kind of devastated. And all of a sudden my dad radios us. He says, hey, I see a bull right here. And being 2 miles in, I was sitting there just going, oh no.
So should we come back?
My dad, being the kind of guy that he is, he wanted that experience for me. He could have really easily taken the bull right then, but he radioed me and said, hey, you got to get over here.
All right, we'll head that way.
All right. Ready for this? It took us probably an hour and a half to get out of there.
fell down again. It's a bear when you don't have ankles. Yeah, I'm gonna crawl my way out of here. That's my thought. The good part is I can't feel my knees. One of them doesn't even exist. Oh man, there's not a good way through this, is there? Oh, buddy. What's even worse? Like a savage. Oh, shoot, I'm hung. Help. Got it. Don't let me stop. Got it. That's what we gotta go through.
Get your water.
Did you, is it a 4-point?
I'm pretty sure it is. It's got.
I finally get there, and my arms are just on fire. Billy, he says, Jake, you're going to have to go down this mountain. I'm just sitting there going, oh man, I just went down the last mountain. He's like, you got to get closer and stalk this animal.
Hey, hold those.
So I started down that hill and just real slowly trying to walk as much as I could. And I finally got to a spot where I was just over 600 yards. Was glassing, and couldn't find it.
What do you see?
Okay, I think it's a shadow. Oh, there he is.
It showed up on the hillside.
I got him.
He's up on
And I was just like, oh my gosh, that's it right there. And I was adrenaline rush and just, oh my gosh, you know, just being there was enough for me, but this just made it that much better. I got down, I scoped him out and I ranged him, and he was just over 700 yards. I practiced up to about 500 yards. I was like, this is my one shot. And so I looked at my ballistics, I checked the ranges, I put my BDC right on it, and I just squeezed the trigger. And it felt so good. And I could see through the scope that it hit, and it kind of stumbled for a second and then went down the hill and dropped. And I think the emotions that went through at that time were just kind of relief at the same time as excitement.
Yeah. Good job, Jake.
My family was there with me, and my brother-in-law pulled that thing all the way down this mountain so that I'd have a chance to be able to hold it in my hands, and just we were able to have the full experience. I put a lot of pressure on myself of making this a successful hunt. I probably shouldn't do that, but I want to show people that you can live your dreams. And this was one of my big dreams, to be able to harvest a Rocky Mountain elk. It wasn't a monster by any means. It was a legal bull. And at the end of the day, it fed my family. There's always adjustments that you can make. There's always something that you're going to do a little bit different than everybody else. Do I ride a quad as hard as I used to? No. Do I have to have special things? Yeah. I think that's kind of the adventure too, is how do I make this work? In my life, my dad always taught me there's nothing in this world that you can't achieve if you do your best, you try your hardest, and make it work. Just being out in the wilderness, being in the mountains, being outdoors, doing things that you love is really what it's all about.